Reactin provides 24-hour relief for your worst allergy symptoms.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what we got in terms of your forecast for this April the 17th, where the city of Toronto still looks a little bit like winter. Will we have some spring for today? Unfortunately, we're still going to see some winter-like conditions with overcast skies and some flurries. Daytime highs today right around 2 degrees. The average for today should be closer to 12. Winds out of the west at about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. This morning, we have been seeing some scattered flurries down to southwestern Ontario, as well as to the east of the city. We've been seeing that over through Cobourg this morning. Toronto, everything that was moist yesterday has frozen up. So this morning we have some icy patches out there on some of the secondary street sidewalks. Of course, be careful out there, and even on some of the on and off ramps, you need to make sure you're careful and cautious. But improved conditions today, way better than what we saw over the last 3. -1 into Windsor, and as we take a look into Ottawa, +1. Fraser Mark into Sudbury. Taking a look at your wind chills this morning, just for about -8. Daytime highs today 2. Tomorrow we'll see sunshine. It'll be a nicer day, 5 degrees. A little bit of a hiccup through Thursday with some wet flurries possible, and then looking much better. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, mainly sunny skies and daytime highs. Sunday of 11, Monday up to 13 with an overnight low of +4. Over to you.
All right, finally. Eastbound on the 401. You do not want to be on that route. If you are heading towards Milton this morning, there's a major problem. Eastbound 401 just before Guelph Line. This is not it. I'll just get to this issue in a second. But eastbound 401 approaching Guelph Line, 2 left lanes closed off for collision cleanup. That backup starts, and it is solid from Highway 6 South all the way over. I can show you those drive times right now on the eastbound 401, about an hour and a half to get through that. So you want to bail off at Highway 6 South, if not beforehand. You can take Campbellville Side Road. That's just south of the 401, and then rejoin at Guelph Line. That will save you a lot of the time. As well, if you're going to be traveling north of the 401, then you can use Highway 34 as your alternate route. Eastbound QEW, that's in much better shape, and then the southbound 400, barely seeing any delays just yet. Okay, so this issue is on the westbound 401. Just as you're coming up to Yonge in the Express, and that right lane is blocked off, all because of that stalled tanker truck right there. But they do have a heavy tow on the scene, so hopefully it's out of there soon. But that backup starts as you approach the 404, more so in the express lanes. If you use the collectors, you'll save yourself a little bit of time there. All right, that's a look at your drive. I'll send it back to you, Mel.
Well, home ice, a welcome sight for the Maple Leafs against the Bruins. After losing the first 2 playoff games in Boston, it was good to hear some cheers from fans at the ACC. All right, second period, tied at 2. Nylander passes to Matthews, and he snaps it in to give the goal Buds a 3-2 lead. Third period now. Leafs on a 2-on-1. Marleau fires and scores. That is his second goal of the game, and makes it 3-2 Leafs. That's how it's going to finish. Bruins lead the series 2-1. Next game is happening Thursday night at the ACC. Well, it was a pretty disappointing day for Jays fans yesterday. The game against the Kansas City Royals had to be postponed. It was all because of this. Chunks of ice falling from the CN Tower, damaging the roof of the Rogers Center. That hole measuring about 3 feet by 5 feet, and on the field there were some large tarps here protecting the surface from that heavy rain. And then some of this video here from one of our viewers, you can see a couple of the guys repairing this roof, and they've been working really hard at it. The good news for fans today, game is happening. It is a doubleheader. All of the roads and walkways around the CN Tower have now reopened, and that is thanks to all the workers who've been spending the night manually clearing all the ice away. Well, we are learning more about the latest identified victim of alleged serial killer Bruce McArthur. Kirushna Kumar Kanagaratnam came from Sri Lanka on board a migrant ship as one of nearly 500 asylum seekers. Kanagaratnam arrived here in Canada seeking safety from a civil war. He was on board the MV Sunsea on August 12, 2010 when they arrived in BC. He later settled in Scarborough. Yesterday, police identified him as the 8th alleged victim of McArthur. His remains were one of those found inside a planter on Mallory Crescent. A public celebration of life today for 4 Humboldt Broncos tragically killed in a bus crash earlier this month in Saskatchewan. Meanwhile, we now know what will be happening with the money raised in a record-breaking GoFundMe. Over $12 million has been raised in the days following the horrific crash. It is now the most successful campaign in Canadian GoFundMe history and third of all time. In an update yesterday, the team executives say all money will be going into a nonprofit organization, which will then be allocated to the victims' families. 16 people died, 13 others injured in this collision. A celebration of life held for 4 of those victims will be at Rogers Centre in Edmonton this afternoon. Other funeral services continue this week. The GoFundMe ends tomorrow night. Toronto's Executive Committee meeting this morning, and the big issue, the implementation of the Smart Track Stations program, as well as the Metrolinx Regional Express Rail program. A recent city report recommending up to $268 million in additional spending for station infrastructure as part of the mayor's transit plan. Well, some sad news for fans of the comedy Night Court. Actor Harry Anderson, who played the lovable judge Harry Stone, has passed away. The actor found dead at his home in Asheville, North Carolina yesterday. A police spokesperson said that no foul play is suspected. Anderson nominated for 3 consecutive Emmy Awards for his role in Night Court. He was just 65 years old.